Thanks again for checking out the Week in Review and a look ahead to the upcoming week of LA Kings hockey. I'm John Rosen here with Daryl Evans. Lots of moves. The Kings brought in a defenseman. You may have heard of him. His name's Rob Scuderi. They also brought in forward Kris Versteeg. And looking at those two moves that the Kings made, you got to look at them independently. But still, if there's one thing that kind of builds a bridge of what they were looking to do, bringing in players who have that championship experience and pedigree.
That's important. I think, the changes for the Kings are subtle changes, but elements that they need. Back in the blue line with Rob Scuderi, you know exactly what you're going to get back there. And he's got the ability to play on any one of your pairs. That's what I like, his versatility. He can also play the right side. With Versteeg up front, another player that's won the Stanley Cup. He's played on high-end teams with high-end players. So coming in here, whether he's going to play with guys like Kopitar, Carter, who knows where he's going to fit in exactly. I'm sure he's going to see a couple of different combinations early on. Vinny Lecavalier's got 3 elite centermen to be able to play with. So he's a guy that's got the ability to be able to finish. The Kings have struggled scoring goals, just 12 goals in their last 8 games. Timing couldn't be better.
Yeah, we'll talk about a lot of these players. Of course, it'll be up on Kings Vision, up on LA Kings Insider as well. But we got our first chance to really speak with Kris Versteeg today. And the slotting of where they're going to be, again, it's fluid. It can change. What you see today in practice doesn't necessarily mean what's going to be over and over again. But today he skated alongside Tanner Pearson and Jeff Carter. From what we know, and this is a player that we've seen multiple playoff series against, just seems like a player who does a good job protecting the puck, has a little bit of a scoring punch too, and somebody that has a pretty good hockey IQ from some of his words earlier today.
Yeah, he's got good sense in the offensive zone in particular. He's able to find those soft spots, get himself available. Doesn't take a lot of time to be able to get his shot through. And all of a sudden, instead of maybe needing 7 or 8 chances to be able to convert and get a goal, the Kings improve those percentages by bringing in a guy like him. He's got the ability to be able to finish. Career high 23 goals. He's reached that 20-goal plateau a couple of times throughout his career. 54 points is a career high. So he has the ability, again, to step in and play with high-end players, complement their game, and still yet when the opportunities come his way to be able to finish.
So looking now at what has happened on the ice with this Kings team and looking ahead to this 5-game homestand that continues Thursday night against the Montreal Canadiens, looking back at Sunday's night's game, Kings had a lead in the second period against the Anaheim Ducks, unable to finish that game off, lost 4-2. But still, the energy was there, the passion was there, whatever you want to describe it as. From that 8 p.m. late start against Saturday night to Sunday night's game, maybe you could say that on the other hand, too, there's a little bit just left of in the gas tank when you talk about the detail, positioning player-wise. When you look at what the Kings did, beating Buffalo, continuing that winning streak, and then dropping that game against Anaheim, what was kind of your sense just of the rhythm of the weekend and how this week ahead lays right now?
Well, I think the Kings did a lot of good things leading into the game against Anaheim, and not to say that they played poorly in that game, but they needed a little bit more. You look at Anaheim going into that game 14-1-1 in their previous 16 games. They're the best team in the NHL right now. They're kicking on all cylinders, getting contributions from their top-end players, great goaltending, and a red-hot power play. And if you look at the difference in that game, 3 power play goals by the Anaheim Ducks. That's what buried the Kings. Undisciplined with the penalties that they took. They played with energy, but you got to play smart. When the two teams meet again on Saturday, it's going to be a little bit of a reverse. This time, the Ducks will be playing their 3rd game in 4 days, and for the Kings, they go in a little bit more rested. So we'll see if the Kings can reverse the turnout at the end of the night.
Speaking of rest, the Kings should be a little bit of a well-rested group. Coming up this Thursday night against the Montreal Canadiens, LA did have Tuesday afternoon off, Tuesday all day off. So we'll see how it shakes out, how they look. Coming back to action back at Staples Center, kicking off a 5-game homestand. Next week, we got a lot to talk about, too. The Washington Capitals coming back into town. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. From Daryl Evans, I'm John Rosen. Thanks again for checking out Kings Vision and LA Kings Insider.